Yo, it's
Yo,
preparing,
what's up, bro? What's up, guys? It's
setting up.
Combat Coffee. We're doing Combat Coffee. We're live in the flesh. Paulie Malignaggi from Florida. You got me. Use out there. Anybody out there? Use copy.
Yep, we're
You got.
live on YouTube. Paulie, how's it going?
I'm good, man. What's going on, guys? What's happening?
I got some news yesterday. Turkey does not want Dana at Canelo Crawford. Your thoughts?
Is the one I'm attending?
He doesn't want him involved at all.
Oh,
This is
well,
from Turkey chooses Sela as the promoter for Canelo versus Crawford.
chose who?
Sela,
I don't know what that is.
Sela. It is the
I have
Saudi
no
Public
idea.
Investment Fund.
All right. So he's
Yeah.
doing it basically in house. I kind of like that. I mean, I didn't think partnering with Dana was a great idea. I guess leaving Dana in charge of the league aspect of it, TKO. I mean, I guess that the thinking process behind that is the fact that Dana has run the UFC and it's been pretty successful in the way it ran. Um, you know, I thought having Fertitta money helped him monopolize that in a lot of ways. But still, at least he ran a league. So I think him running the TKO league, maybe he doesn't want him involved with the other stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I actually prefer that. I prefer that. I don't think Dana plays well with others. I don't think he's had a great reputation. I don't think it's a good look for Turkey if he's trying to build something good. And honestly, the fact that he's going to create this Sela, this it's sort of, I guess it's an in-house promotion in that way. He's created his own promotional company to do these events. You know what, bro? That's probably the best way to go. If I'm somebody who's trying to move in with big money and starting from scratch, he's probably going to have to hire some capable people over at Sailor. But um, thankfully, Dana's not one of those allegedly capable people, because Dana sells himself as capable, but I'm not really sure how capable he is at day's end.
Yeah, we got some funny comments on it. Dana threw a tantrum when he found out the boxers were allowed to choose their own shorts and were paid more than $500 for a discount code.
Yeah,
Dana's going to be
really
cut up
got
into
me.
pieces. Says Dana's going to be cut up into pieces like Turkey's other business associates if he's not careful.
I mean, I don't. Did Dana throw out a temper tantrum? Was he angry about not being involved? Is there any truth to that? I know that was sort of tongue in cheek, that comment, but was there any truth involved to him being sort of taken aback or disappointed or angry about not being involved?
Turkey put out a tweet that said Cielo will be taking care of it, but initially they promoted this all with the TKO stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was
Yeah, but I
basically
mean,
just that
you
tweet.
have to kind of separate it. You do have to kind of separate it because the league is sort of something different, completely than these mega fight cards where you're going to have Crawford and Canelo. I tell you what, even the Times Square card he did, the I think it's Central Park, July 12th with Shiraz and Berlanga. I think these cards have to be sort of separate from the league because it's different level of fighters, different level of money, and I think the connection uh, between making the league and the sort of the elite level of boxing, there has to be a bit of a divide there. And I think you want to separate it. And maybe the guys from the league can eventually graduate to that elite level of boxing. I don't even mind that. I think a league concept could be sort of a developmental concept for guys that you're going to eventually bring into the elite level. You never know if the league is run in a way that it's able to create stars, or it's able to create fighters that become in demand. Who knows? Maybe some of those guys can graduate to the sort of bigger cards that Turkey has, and from there, I think you end up creating in-house stars, which is what you want, right? From a promotional standpoint.
And one of the other funny comments I saw was, "What a shame! It's really bad for both boxers. They're not eligible for the 50K performance bonus."
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Crawford and Canelo are gonna really be disappointed that they're not gonna be eligible for that. But
So yeah,
and
so
that's it. I mean,
you're
I don't have a problem with it being separate. I actually preferred it. I thought that was the way to go from the start. So I think that's kind of good.
Paulie, who wins, Beetlejuice or McGregor?
Close fight. It's close. It depends on who wakes up having a better day, who had a better training camp. It's a close fight. It's a toss up. I don't know. It's a good fight though.
And really, I
A
got
good
beat.
fight. We got, we
Uh,
got we got some we got some boxing this weekend. We got Josh Taylor's return. He's moving up to 147 pounds finally. You know, he was discussing about moving up to 147 pounds the last couple of years, and he's moving up. The irony is Taylor announces he's moving to 147. He's fighting at 147, and Josh Catterall Jack Catterall just announced he's going to 147. So that rivalry could end up having a third fight at welterweight. And for me, in my opinion, the funny thing about the welterweight division is it's aside from Boots Ennis, it's kind of been devoid of stars and been devoid of guys who really can grab the bull by the horns. So I think that name guys coming up to welterweight, even if they may not be at their very best, they're still not totally shot. You know, guys like Taylor, guys like Catterall, even guys like Devin Haney, sort of bring some spice to the welterweight division because I don't think Boots is going to be around for a while. So I'm curious to see how Taylor is going to look this weekend in his return.
I'm curious if Devin's going to be at Diddy's trial.
Yeah. I mean that they brought in Kid Cudi, so you're starting to bring in some of the guys who did attend these things and had some a contact with the man. So I'm wondering if he may get subpoenaed to appear. You know, I don't know what anybody else thinks. You know, what would everybody think about that? I mean, Devin's got a good amount of experience in court cases, as he's recently tried to sue Ryan Garcia. So he's good at testifying. So I don't know if it's going to come into if those skills are going to come into play in the Diddy trial.
I mean, he's pretty good at dodging punches. I don't know if that has anything. Oh, we got a super chat. I didn't see that. From Fight Sport Talk, New Zealand. The time is for Teal versus Haney. Would you be interested in having a discussion about my channel? Cheers from New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, sure. What does he want to talk about? Teal versus Haney?
Yeah, Teal versus Haney.
I don't know if that's as interesting of a fight as just their names bring up. But I mean, yeah, it's always interesting discussion. Yeah, no problem. You know, have them reach out to the channel, to Jimmy. You know, set it up through Jimmy. We can do some kind of collab or something.
Go in the Paulie TV DMs. I will respond. That was so I'm making our post right now on Twitter. I couldn't find a photo, so I just put "Will Devin testify?" Question mark.
Yeah. Oh no. You know what we got this weekend? While I got everybody on live tonight, which is technically tomorrow morning by the time we go on air, but we're going on live on ProBox TV, but it's on the app. It's not on the YouTube channel. We're going to have the Angelo Leo IBF Featherweight World Championship fight against Tomoki Kameda from Tokyo live. We're going to be doing it in studio at our Florida studio here, but we're going to be having the broadcast live from Tokyo. And we're on at 3 a.m. American East Coast time. So whatever that translates to in your neck of the woods, we're going to have that fight live in English with me, Chris Algieri, and Jimmy Smith commentating both the co-main event and the main event. So anybody who wants to watch the Leo versus Kameda IBF World Featherweight Championship fight, download the ProBox TV app. It is free. I know a lot of times our fights are also free on the YouTube channel, but we will not show this fight on the YouTube channel because it's a championship fight. So we're going to have it on the app only. But you can download the ProBox TV app for free. And we start at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time with a pre-fight show first, a little pre-show where we'll discuss everything for a half hour, and then we'll go into the co-main event at 3 a.m. Eastern American time. Where again, anybody listening to us from all over the world, you figure that out. What time that is in your time zone. I know in England they're 5 hours ahead of the American East Coast time. In Italy they're 6 hours ahead of American East Coast time. So do the math. Obviously Pacific, instead of 3 a.m. it would be 12 midnight. If you're in California, and so on and so forth. But again, we will have the World Championship fight, the Featherweight World Championship fight, which I think honestly is a good card. Pretty good co-main event and main event we have tonight.
We got some more questions coming in. Paulie, longtime fan. He lives in Tampa. Glad ProBox is doing things in Plant City. What do you think about Tampa Bay?
I like Tampa. See, it's a cool town. It's a cool city. Some cool stuff, some good restaurants, good nightlife. And another fun fact I didn't know. Where I don't know, I know we want to be politically correct, but also even one of my good friends, he's in the porn industry, and even he corroborates this. He says a lot of the highest percentage of women we have in the porn industry come from Tampa. So there's hot women in Tampa who wind up doing porn. Whatever. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's there's good-looking women in Tampa, among all the other finer points in the city. I think Tampa's a fun place.
Secret Dance Move just said, was Paulie a fan of Nino Bene I'm gonna butcher this. Nino
Benvenuti.
Benevenuti?
Benvenuti. Yeah, we did a special on him after he passed away a couple of days ago on Pro Box TV.
Oh.
I have a post on my Instagram page where I'm kind of discussing him briefly in the post. It's a snippet of the show we did. But yeah, Benvenuti was obviously an icon of Italian boxing. And I know when people talk about Italian boxing, sometimes they also mention the Italian Americans, but in Italy, they kind of separate the Italian Americans and the Italians. Benvenuti was Italian born and raised, and actually was fully Italian from Rome. And he had a lot of big fights both in Italy, in Europe, and in the United States. So he was a bona fide Hall of Famer. And for me, it's possibly the biggest name in boxing history coming from Italy is Nino Benvenuti. So coming directly from Italy, not a Italian immigrant or Italian immigrant family. But yeah, it was a big loss for the Italian boxing community.
We're gonna get to Barrios and Manny in a second. There's a few questions on that, but I wanted to wrap up this quick Canelo Crawford thing with why does this fight not feel as important as Crawford Spence? Where these two guys, the two biggest figures in boxing with Canelo and Crawford, I feel like. Why did
I, I
why is
think
it
I
more
think
hype?
I think it'll get bigger as it gets closer because people will generally the hype machine will start. But right now it's so soon that only boxing fans will be talking about it, and any true boxing fans knows this fight probably sucks, and it's like has basically no meaning at all. I mean, Canelo looks not he's not even good anymore. Crawford looks good, but he's older, and it looks like we know it's a money grab. Eventually, um, the as we get closer, maybe the final month, the lesser intelligent part of the population will get involved with the promotion, and that'll sort of hype it up. The casuals will come into play, and that'll sort of hype it up because casuals basically just like popular names. So Crawford and Canelo are popular names, so it's not really that good of a fight. So if the boxing community is not really going to get behind it like that, but as it gets closer, the storm wave of casual support will pick up steam, sort of like a Jake Paul fight, I guess.
What happened to the Italian American accent? You only hear it if somebody's like 60 plus. That's from Derek.
I think what happened to all accents worldwide. I think all accents worldwide have sort of died out. I think it's more so intermixing, liberalization of the world, which is a killer of cultures. So I think people started broadening out. In some ways, it's good, I guess, but in some ways, it has killed personal cultures everywhere. So you don't see a lot of these accents anymore. Only in movies. You like the Italian American accent? Watch some old school movies. That's what I do.
Or just watch The Sopranos 2 times in a row like I did.
Yeah, can't go
I know
wrong
I might
there.
run it back again too. Respect to Paulie for always keeping it real. Thank you. Basically the only one winning is Crawford and Canelo because it's a circus, people are saying. Which is it a circus or is it a cash grab? Are you afraid it's going to be a cash grab? That's what I'm a little afraid of.
Yeah, it's a circus and a cash grab. Of course it is, and that's the thing. I mean, boxing. That's what it's sort of turning into. When the clowns move into the palace, the clowns don't become kings. The palace becomes a circus.
Becomes a circus. Yeah.
That's sort of what boxing has become. The most popular fights are duds. I will say I was not critical of the Times Square card. I think it ended up being a dud, but I don't think it was meant to be a dud. I think those matchups were solid on paper, and that just kind of happened. I think what ends up happening is you end up overpaying these guys, and they sort of half-ass it and to not get hurt. Ryan didn't show up at all. It was a big night for Rolly, but was it really Rolly or was it just Ryan who didn't show up? These guys are getting paid a ton of money and it's taking advantage of the whole situation. Canelo gets to pick whatever Uber driver he wants to fight, and he gets a ton of money for it. The Uber driver was satisfied just in going the distance, and Canelo was satisfied in just coming forward and doing nothing. So I mean, you end up killing the sport like this, and so what ends up happening is you end up giving a chance to these circus type of shows, these side shows, to sort of enter into the mainstream and start to make their presence felt. That's what you're sort of doing here. You've got a situation where Jake Paul's going to fight Chavez Jr. now. I mean, they tried to stick in Chavez Jr. about a year ago, try to showcase him on a Jake Paul card to where, he could make it feasible for Chavez Jr. and Jake Paul to maybe fight and make it look like it was or something respectable about a year ago. Chavez Jr. looked so bad that they actually went away from it for a little while. And now a year later, they're trying to bring it back, hoping that everybody forgot the Chavez Jr. performance from a year ago, on that card.
He fought Silva, right?
No, Silva, he lost. Then he brought him back on undercard to try to revamp him and get him a win, and he won, but he looked like dog shit, So they figured, you know what, we're gonna go away from it. They let a year go by, probably hoping that people forgot that performance from Chavez Jr. And now they're trying to make the fight. So again, you give these sideshows an entrance into the mainstream of the sport because your main fights end up sucking, and that's what I think Canelo Crawford is gonna do. Canelo Crawford is gonna become another one of these sideshows, and then people are gonna be complaining, disappointed, and then so on and so forth. I do think Crawford shows up to fight. I really do. I just don't think that. I just don't think that. I think Crawford is legitimately, no matter how much money he makes, is a legitimate dog in there as far as he wants to be great. Canelo just wants you to call him great, and he wants to do the bare minimum to be called great, and then he gets offended if you don't call him great. So I think much to everyone who it's conscious is chagrin. I think he's gonna try to obviously show up and beat the smaller Crawford, but the way he looked in the last fight was kind of left a lot to be desired. And honestly, even if he beats Crawford, I mean, what does it really do? He avoided all his top contenders in the last few years, and you end up fighting a guy who's smaller. If you lose, the egg is on your face. If you win, so what? You were still ducking the main guys that would have ran you over anyway. So what does it really do? It's a sideshow, like I said.
So speaking of sideshows, I want to move on to Manny coming back. Is this a sideshow? Or is this real?
Yeah, it is in some ways. But the welterweight division is weak. I think the welterweight division is the weakest it's ever been. I think
it is.
I mean, at least in my life, it's very bad. It's really poor, and so there is an opportunity to step in. I think if the welterweight division was more competitive, I think Manny wouldn't come back. I think he's picking a moment where he sees an opportunity. Mario Barrios not only continues to not impress, he looks like he's getting worse, and he wasn't that good to begin with. It just in a weak welterweight division, a guy like that has picked up a title. So I think Manny sees an opportunity to step in and sort of create a historic moment for himself.
How would a 35-year-old Paulie Malignaggi, I mean, there's a big age difference between a 44-year-old Manny and 35-year-old Paulie, but would you consider stepping back in for a guy like Barrios after your prime?
I think anybody would step in against Barrios. Anybody with a legitimate chance of beating Barrios. I think Barrios sucks. I am in shock to see that guy as a world champion. It really shocks me. Nonetheless, Manny did look really bad in the exhibition with the Korean guy. So we don't really know what Manny has left, even at his age. No matter what, no matter how bad Barrios is, there's a possibility that Manny's that shot. The curiosity about the fight is not really, can Manny make history? Because really beating Mario Barrios doesn't really mean anything anyway, right? It's not like Ray Leonard coming back and beating Hagler, The shame of the curiosity of this fight is who's going to show up worse? Barrios, who sucks and he's getting worse every single fight, or Manny, who's 46 and already is probably not for his best health to be fighting, but didn't look so great in the exhibition he did recently, and at 46, well, what can he really take?
46.
So that's the shame of this fight is you're gonna watch because you're curious, but the reason you're curious is just to see who's worse, which is not really a good reason to watch.
You've been criticized for criticizing Manny's alleged PD usage. Do you still hold those feelings?
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, the cat's out of the bag. Most people in boxing think that, and most people always thought that, but I see more people are being vocal about it now. I noticed Terence Crawford in a recent interview also was talking about it. So I don't think it was ever a secret. I know the mutts at home who didn't see like everybody in the inner circles of boxing speak to one another, like I was in the inner circles. Everybody and their mothers knew Manny was juicing. He just wasn't popping. But then publicly, everybody wanted to protect it because he was a cash cow for so many people and so on and so forth. But I think now that the cash cow's sort of gone, people are more willing to sort of speak on what was obvious and what they kind of know. So you're starting to hear it more and more. But regardless, I mean, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth of sport. Regardless, that everybody kind of knew and nobody did anything about it. And nobody tried to enforce more drug testing, seeing that this was happening, and then seeing that the guy was sort of establishing an all-time great resume, knowing that he was doing this to a high level. So it was whatever. I mean, at that point, it was like, you just get turned off. You don't want to argue it because you don't want to deal with people's backlash because a lot of groupies get offended, and most people are groupies. So it was like you just stop talking about it. But I think at 46, if he's gonna come back and he's gonna take on Barrios, I think I'm not sure he can do that cleanly. I mean, at 46 is tough, bro. 46 is difficult, especially when you've taken the damage he's taken. He's been a high impact fighter, a high octane impact fighter. So that kind of style also slows you down later on.
We keep getting this from Michael Laurenetti. Paulie, what's your opinion on Napoli winning the Scudetto this year?
Yeah, I just saw they won the Scudetto. It was big. I'm always happy a Southern team can win it. Obviously, the only Southern team that's ever won it is Napoli. It's big. I think it's an important win for the south of Italy, an important win for Napoli. It just happened literally in the last hour. But
Oh, I had no idea.
I think also Antonio Conte is probably going to leave. The head coach is probably going to leave. Napoli tends to be just a springboard for guys to go somewhere else. I thought it was a good omen for them, considering they lost their best forward to Paris Saint-Germain, Krava, the Lithuanian. And they were still able to hold on and win the title. But I also think it's part of it is also because Inter Milan was involved in the Coppa Italia, was involved in the Champions League. They're still involved in the Champions League. They're actually in the final on May 31st. And so they were focusing on various tournaments, as well as the Scudetto, while Napoli only had the Scudetto to focus on. So I think that helped them. But nonetheless, a big, big win.
Okay. I want to get your last thoughts on the welterweight division and Manny sneaking in there. The WBC has Manny at 5 right now. How
Yeah.
did he get that? That's just my
Yeah,
question.
that's technically not allowed, but again, that's one of those things where boxing just does whatever it wants whenever it wants. Technically, it's not allowed. Technically, you're not supposed to fight for a title coming off a loss. That gets broken commonly. You're not supposed to fight for the title off of a big retirement and not being in the rankings. That gets broke. I mean, they did that for Ray Leonard against Hagler too, right? He just showed up and fought for the title. So I mean, boxing just does whatever it wants whenever it wants. So I don't even think that's worth having a conversation. Because it's not the first time we see it, and if there's enough money on the table, it won't be the last time we see it either.
Okay. Well, do you have any final thoughts on the Mario Barrios fight versus Manny?
No, no, I think either guy can win. Honestly, like I said,
You don't have a prediction? Just either?
not really, bro. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me to see Manny winning. I think Mario Barrios sucks. I am appalled that that guy's a world champion. Every time I see him fight, I'm like, that guy's bad. Man, is he bad? But you know,
147's ugly right now.
oof, bad.
Connor
But
Bennett 3, by the way, on the WBC rankings.
yeah. I mean, Ben is a name. He's been working whatever, and he lost a fight, but that was outside the weight class. Whatever. He's there. He's not. I mean, he's a product of the welterweight division. It's not that good, and he's not that good, but nonetheless, at least he's a big name. Um, Pacquiao, could win. It wouldn't shock me. Also, wouldn't shock me to see him lose. I mean, again, he looked terrible in the exhibition with the kickboxer. So, see what he's got left at 46 years old. But I don't know. I highly doubt. My opinion of it is I highly doubt he's going to show up not juicing. There's no way at 46 years old, having taken the damage he's taken, they can show up clean to this fight.
You would know
Yeah.
at your age, yeah.
No, that I think most people that would use their common sense, looking at a career that's been that long and has been high impact too. He wasn't exactly a defensive specialist, taking a lot of punches. Takes a toll on you, usually shortens your career.
All right. Well, that brings us into our next segment, which is active boxer tier rankings. I added Manny back in there. We've done this a few times. We got about 40 boxers. We're going to go through it quick. I'm going to share the screen right now with you, Paulie. Can you see it?
Kind of.
Kind of. I'm going to read you the names.
All right.
Okay. We got elite, great, good, mid, and washed.
Uh-huh.
We're going to start with Boots Ennis.
He's great.
Great. Chris Eubank Jr.
Mid.
Interesting. Bud.
Elite.
Juan Francisco Estrada.
Um, Mid. I'll give him mid.
Josh Taylor.
We'll find out this weekend. Right now, I'll give him mid. If he loses or looks bad this weekend, he'll be washed. But right now, if he looks good, you can move up too. But right now, I give him mid.
What are you thinking about Tim Zoo? Where's he at?
Tim Zoo, he just got an easy win over Joey Spencer, but that was sort of a comeback. I'll give him mid right now. Mid is sort of where is that fork in the road kind of spot right now for me.
And okay, we got Xander Zayas.
Xander Zayas, what's below mid?
Washed.
No, he's not washed. What's above mid?
Good.
He's good. I give him good.
He's good.
He's also ascending.
He's ascending. Yeah, it could be in the right there. I'll fix up these lists. Andy Ruiz.
I'll give him mid. Can't call him washed yet, but he might be washed just based on the fact that he's inactive.
AJ.
AJ mid right now.
AJ's mid.
I
That
can't
is
give AJ a
yeah.
wash yet because he's also taking on such tough competition. I mean, if AJ lowers his level of opposition, I still think he'd probably still win. AJ is constantly with tough opposition.
Janibek.
Janibek. I give Janibek. Janibek's good.
Janibek's good.
Yeah.
The chat saying Josh Taylor, former undisputed, deserves good at least. Devin washed. I know he way overrated. Broner, elite, maybe. All right, we'll get there. Fundura.
What's below elite?
Great.
Right? No, he's good. Fundura's with Zayas. He's good.
Chocolatito.
Well, and these guys are out there. I mean, have we seen
I just
Chocolatito?
went through. He comes up in a lot of top 15 lists.
Yeah, I will give him good, but I think he's gonna probably get beat by what's his name? His name's past me now. The kid Robert Garcia trains San Antonio.
Southpaw saying AJ shell shocked. David Benavidez.
Dave Benavidez is the uncrowned elite.
Ooh, all right. George Kambosos.
Tell you, George keeps popping up. I think he's washed, but he keeps popping back up.
Artur Beterbiev.
Good.
You don't think he's still elite?
I don't know if he's hungry enough. I don't. We may not even see the guy fight again after the third fight with Beagle.
Yeah.
So he might get beat again by Beagle and just retire. So I don't know.
Shakur Stevenson.
Uncrowned elite. That's the one I was trying to think about before. He'll probably eat up Chocolatito soon. He's elite as well.
He'll eat up Chocolatito, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that fight happening?
I mean, it's being talked about.
Right now, because anything can happen. Floyd Mayweather. This is right now.
Washed.
Washed. Not even mid?
No. Floyd.
No?
Floyd hasn't fought in forever. Well, I don't even think he's gonna fight again.
Barrios.
Barrios mid. He's a world champion. We'll give him the respect of a mid.
That down there. Why am I forgetting? Oh, Matias.
Matias. Matias is good. Still dangerous.
Conor McGregor, elite. No. Chocolatito, people are saying elite. Why you got Conor on the list? We got a point to get Conor. Teofimo.
Delfimo good.
Good.
Delfimo's shame is he's got elite potential, but he's just an enigma.
It's any given night with him.
Yeah.
Gervonta, the oldest prospect, Davis.
I'll give him good. I'll give him good because he's not got talent. You just don't know, how where his character is, where his backbone is. Where what kind of balls he has. You'll never see it because he's always up against easy opposition. But Lamar Roach exposed him a lot as a big underdog to give him that kind of trouble as a big underdog. But I'll still give him good because there is, you can see the physical gifts he has.
Lamont Roach.
Also good.
Lamont Roach is also good. Oh, we're having sound issues. That's not good. How we doing, Paulie?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I don't
Hey,
know if
chat,
anybody
we
else
got
hears.
sound?
We got no sound?
Yeah, we're cutting out a little bit. Chat, how's our sound? Still can't hear?
I don't know, I think the people are getting tired of it then.
Keeps cutting off. Here, let me just switch my thing. Let's just finish this out. Oh yeah, we keep cutting out. Meetings. Stop share. Let me change my microphone. It might be me.
Can they hear me? Can you see me? I don't know what. I don't even know what you're saying right now. I don't hear you at all. We're back. I think we're out.
You got me, Paul?
We're back. Yeah.
Yep, I got you.
All right.
All right. So we're just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna share my screen. Sorry guys, sorry chat. Weird. Damn. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I got you. We might be losing some people.
Yeah, I think people might be a wrap here. All right, guys. I'll leave you with whoever withstood the technical difficulties. I'll leave you
We're
with
back.
this.
We're back. Let's just finish this up. We're good.
Let's just. I'll leave everybody with a tease. I'll leave everybody with a tease.
I got 3 more for
In
you.
about
How's
a
this?
week. All right, go ahead. 3 more. Go ahead. I don't
Adrian
think
Broner.
people are gonna care. I mean, Adrian's washed. Go ahead.
Adrian Broner.
Are we
Conor
losing
McGregor.
listeners though? Conor McGregor's washed.
We actually gained some. Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And
And
I wanted to hear Roach.
Roach was good.
Roach was good. And then you.
Mhm. I'm good.
You're good? You're good?
I'm not washed. I'm good. I'm
You're not
good.
washed?
I'm not washed. I'm still good.
I'm
I'm
sorry
still
about the
good.
audio issue, guys, and this live going south. I'm sorry. It started out well. Paulie, you got some ending messages for the chat?
Nah, I'll have an announcement in about a week. I think people are in about next weekend. We'll have an announcement.
More shirtless pics?
I don't know the story, but I don't know. Man, I've been losing some weight. I feel good. I feel good.
All right.
I'll leave it at that.
Look out for that
All right,
announcement.
guys. I'll